All eyes on me.
See, a lot of you motherfuckers really think that you know Tupac or you understand Tupac, but yeah, way more layers that I don't even think a lot of people understand. Let me get into it. Okay, so most people see the music side of him, they see the fiery, rebellious side of him, but a lot of people don't really understand why he was like that and don't really understand his energy. But yo, Tupac was a Gemini sun, which means, you know, the way that he shined and come across to the world was in a very Gemini manner. Do you know what I mean? Which is quick intellected, good with words, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury, being the fastest moving planet. The mind works very quickly. You know, it's like in the realms of analytics and being able to really connect with a person's mind. You know, he definitely had that, and he shined in that way. See, the reason a lot of you motherfuckers hate Tupac was because he had a moon in Aries, yeah? Which means emotionally, he was an Aries, yeah? A lot of you motherfuckers hate Aries, you know what I'm saying? Even though Aries is the realest motherfucker in the zodiac. That's a different story. But Aries is the protector. I would know I'm an Aries, yeah? But Aries is the protector. You know, that's why Tupac was very protective. That's why, you know, when he seen the off-duty police and they was harassing the other black guy, that's why he shot them motherfuckers, because, yo, that's what Aries do. You know, we act. Listen, you see what you need to know about his Aries moon. He was led by his emotions, you get it? Like, he would burn up with his emotions, you get it? And, like, it's like passion and drive, you get it? Like, something that you couldn't really stop. So you couldn't really, you know, like, not react to things, you know what I mean? Because having it in that house, yeah, in the 7th house, by the way, it's like you get really hot very, very quickly, you know what I mean? Especially when it's like comes to other people and that as well. And, you know, that's kind of like what led to his death, you know what I mean? Like, he was defending his peoples and his bedrooms, you know what I mean? And then, you know, you see this emotion when he went through the casino, do you know what I mean? You couldn't stop him, and you can't stop people like that, do you know what I mean? But it's like, he's very quick to like cool down very quickly as well, and forgive very quickly as well. So then the fact that you had a Virgo rising, yeah, so you had Virgo in his first house, yeah, it means that's how he comes across to other people and that as well, public perception and all that. Or to say like how people first see you, and do you know what I mean? It's like you can say your mastery defense mechanism, kind of like what you show the world, yeah. But it's like very analytical, very sharp. Again, Virgo is ruled by Mercury, do you get it? So it's just adding to the Mercury that he already had. He was very observant, very analytical, very sharp-minded. Do you get it? Like, that's why he was able to, you know, see through all of the kind of dodgy kind of situations, like the whole Biggie situation, a whole lot of situations. He really used that to navigate through his life. Also makes sense why he was so practical, do you know what I mean? Because Virgo was very practical. Tupac was not here for any kind of nonsense. And having that Virgo placement make you seem very calm on the outside, exterior wise, but on the internal inside, it's like there's a lot going on, do you know what I mean? And that's adds to the reason why he was very misunderstood. Your 10th house represents like your public perception, your career, all that kind of stuff there. So it's like for Tupac now, like the way that he had to liberate himself in life, he was to learn to speak and to be able to speak his truth and to be able to communicate his mind, you know, his very strong mind, do you know what I mean, that he had. He's got a lot of Mercury going on there, very quick moving, do you know what I mean? You know, that also makes you a very good storyteller, which is why he painted the pictures that he did with his music, the way that he did. Alright, so this one gonna make a lot of sense as well, yeah. So Tupac had Mars in the 5th house, yeah. Mars represents action, drive, anger, and energy levels. And the fact that he had it in Aquarius in the 5th house, that means, you know, that's the revolution in him. You know, that's the revolutionary that he was. You know, the Black Panther that he was. You know, the civil rights upriser, for lack of better phrasing, that he was. And the 5th house represents like creativity, performance, and self-expression. So he's expressing himself like an Aquarius, which is like very different. You know, Aquariuses, they don't really have no limits. You know, they're about expansion. It's ruled by Uranus, you know what I mean? So it's like they kind of go to the pace of their own life and the beat of their own drum. And that's what Tupac definitely did. Let's talk about Tupac's Venus, yeah? Venus represents love, art, values, and what you care about, which Tupac had in Gemini, yeah? It represents like truth, ideas, words, variety, and can really connect with someone's mind on a deeper level. And that's kind of what he did with Jada Pinkett. 9th house represents beliefs, justice, higher truth, and life lessons. But in hindsight, Tupac basically expressed his love through words, you know, acts of service, being a protector, and connecting with you on a whole different level that a lot of people wouldn't connect with you mentally, spiritually. Express his own love with himself by standing up for what he believed in. Like, Tupac valued intelligence and truth over money and values. Next, Tupac had Saturn in Taurus in the 9th house. Saturn represents like limits, lessons, karma, and more like the restrictions that we faced in life. Having it in Taurus represents like stability, like what you had to hard work for, but what will last even longer. Indicating that he had hard lessons in life from early. And that played out in his life with like poverty, going to prison falsely accused, being attacked, being targeted. It's yeah, it wasn't easy for him. But all that made him more tougher, more grounded, and more unshakable in his will and in his determination. Like, Tupac weren't just talking, he really lived that shit. He lived what he talked about. But listen, like, astrology aside, yeah, like, Tupac, he was a living legend, man. You know what I mean? He stood up for what he believed in. You know, he stood up against societal norms and, you know, like the system. You get it? He really did that. Like, niggas shot 2 off-duty police officers, you know what I'm saying? He didn't even know them motherfuckers are off-duty. That's it. And that's for another motherfucker, do you know what I mean? Like, so, he was someone that really stood with conviction, do you know what I mean? And it's like, a lot of the trials and tribulations that he went through in life, like, I can relate to that because, you know, I feel like we come from a similar essence. Because I've had to go through some of these things there as well, like being falsely accused and going to prison, my own struggles and fights with the systems, you know what I mean, and being a targeted individual, my own upbringing with poverty. So, you know, I definitely see a lot of myself in Tupac, do you know what I mean? But that's why it meant a lot for me to do this video, because a lot of you motherfuckers don't really understand Tupac. But listen, if you would like your own birth chart decoded and interpreted by me, then drop me a DM. We can happily work. I'll be happy to do this. I love this shit. You get it? So, you know, like, comment, share, repost, you know, all that beautiful stuff, man. Support the real, cause, you know, I'm out here, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. No one's talking about astrology no more, so I'm doing this. Yeah? Everyone have a beautiful day. Chosenone, Adwa, Ashe.